story actually before we start.
Okay.
About like, I think it was 76, a friend of mine who was a DJ said like, Charlie, you've got to come down to the club tonight. I've got this record right up your street. I went down there and it was the Ramones Blitzkrieg Bop. And from then on I was blinkered. That was the start of the UK subs. We had to play like that. And cheers guys, you were fucking great.
Did you become friends with the Ramones?
Hey?
Did you become friends with the Ramones then?
Yeah, we did. We were lucky enough to do a 1980 tour of Europe with them, and which was very exciting. We played pretty big places and even like a couple of stadiums.
Yeah, right. Oh, they liked you, did they?
Well, there's another little story where the first gig was in Amsterdam, in a place called Paradiso, and anyway, we went on stage, and Nicky Garrett, our guitarist, jumped all over the fold back, and we were going down a bit too well because 200 like kids came over from England and shouting subs all the time, and so, and the Ramones manager wanted to chuck us off the tour. They're like, oh, you don't want these hooligans on tour yet. But the Ramones insisted of us staying on the tour, so hats off to them.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Because there was a lot of competition in punk in the early days. Did you ever come across that?
Yeah, but that was a very high. We were nothing in the early days. We were kind of a little pub band, but
yeah.
in the higher echelons, yeah, there was a lot of bitching, as we called it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you come out of the pub rock scene then? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went to see all the kind of bands from, but you've got to realise that even when the bands were playing like the Damned and the Sex Pistols, they never had any records out. So we were listening to Velvet Underground, New York Dolls, Iggy Pop, you know, all those kind of stateside bands. So there was a little kind of collection of guys just amazed about these bands, and like we started, you know, like forming bands to sound a bit like the American bands, but it came out very English, thank goodness.
Yeah. I mean, what was your first foray into music? I mean, I mean, you were a war baby, weren't you?
Yeah.
So was it the? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no ageism here, is there? No. Well, I mean, was it the beat of your mother's heart? I mean, no. I mean, you came out of, so you must have been right through the 60s. You lived through the 60s, obviously, you know. And
yeah, that was an exciting time. Yeah.
Trying to say this, like, yeah, I'm trying to move in here, right? Yeah. What was the first band you went to see then, or the first band that just said, oh, I love music? And
I mean, when we were at school, we were taken to see bands, skiffle bands and stuff them days. I don't remember. I think it was kind of a big rock and roll thing with Mighty Wild and all those guys. You know, I think the headliner was Adam Faith. Think you want your mother, baby.
So you remember? I mean, rock and roll when that came out. I mean, that was sort of thing. But the Stones. I mean, there was the Rolling Stones. I heard you were a big fan of the Rolling Stones in the 60s.
Yeah, people ended up calling me Charlie Stones because that's all I talked about. That's all I done. But sometimes I see the Rolling Stones three nights a week, and in them days, you know, can you imagine paying like 40p to go and see the Rolling Stones? $400 now or something.
Well, VIP tickets are, yeah. Are you not still on the guest list for them or not?
No. 40p you didn't need it. There was no such thing as a guest list in them days because really, you know, most music was free in them days. I mean, we always played for free, and if you fill a pub up, you get quite good money. So yeah, most music was free, which was amazing.
Yeah, free beer though as well. Yeah.
Well, that's how I kind of formed the subs. I was at a bar in South London watching a band, and the band came over to the bar, and the manager said, "Oh, can I buy you guys a beer?" And I thought, "Oh, get in a band, get free beer, that's it." That was me, so.
So it was just a beer, nothing.
But I mean, you know, I started off as a busker, and I think I'd done my first, like, not solo concert kind of thing, but I played solo in front of a crowd at 1967, and just a couple of songs, and then I'd done a few little club things where I do about 3 or 4 songs, but basically I was just a busker, and then it's still in the 60s when a friend of mine, we were working together, and every kind of weekend we'd go up and see the band. Well, this is Leicester Square, and there's a pub upstairs and up above the tube station, and we go and see these live bands, and we thought, well, we can do that. So yeah, we started forming like electric bands.
And you used to busk on the street as well, like, yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Above you got more on the street. You know, you put out your hat or your guitar case and that, and people throw pennies in it. But the trick in the underground was there'd be hundreds of people just streaming down the escalator, and if you could get someone called a bottler with a hat collecting, you know, at the bottom of the escalator, you were at the bottom as well, like playing, and you know, within 10 minutes you'll get like a £5, sometimes a rush hour a tenner, and that paid your rent.
Oh,
you know, yeah. I mean, we only lived in kind of bedsits, yeah. So, but that paid your rent.
So it was like you had a double act, you know, someone.
Yeah. So if you ever see beggars in the streets and that, it's a proper job. You know, they might not, you know, pay taxes and stuff, but it is a proper job. They're doing it.
It's like
begging is a job, another job.
Yeah, they slag it off nowadays, but it's a vocation. You know what I mean? More people should get into it, I think. What do you reckon? But do something for them. Do something.
You're lucky, you know. You're lucky. You're a musician. You can play, and you know, depending on your kind of. But it's a good. We always called it our apprenticeship. Busking, it's like a musician's apprenticeship, because you're playing every day for hours, a couple of hours, 3, 4 hours, maybe, and it kind of brings you on, really brings you on.
Prepares you for playing.
Yeah. And it's, what's his name? Ed Sheeran. Oh. He started off as a busker, and what's that guy in America? He's like big rock star.
There's quite a few in America.
Yeah, he was really young, but when he was a kid, he was busking. Bieber. Yeah. Jason Bieber. Whatever. It's quite a good premise. It's quite a few times. I think he passed.
But who was your? I mean, was your family an influence to you musically?
Not really. My mum had a good voice. She could, like, you know, hold a tune.
Was it a family?
My dad could whistle, hold a tune.
Was it a family that played music as you were growing up?
No, not really. No.
So it was something that you went and sought out then when you were young.
Yeah, it's just I kind of what happened was. I used to paint, so I went up to Trafalgar Square and like painting, and then you go in a pub and this lemon flag, and it's where all the kind of I didn't know at the time, but it's when all the anarchists met in the set, and this has been a kind of anarchist meeting pub for centuries, and then you know I started meeting these buskers who were really good. If you kind of got a good memory, can see a thing called Beatnik by the BBC, and my mates Ray and Emmett are kind of on that, and they're kids, they're 19 years old, and they're like brilliant. You know, Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee, ring a bell? Anyone? Yeah. You know, like doing all that stuff. You know, great. So I got in with all these people, and I started off being a bottler, you know, collecting the money for them, and then, you know, you graduate and play a little guitar, and gradually, you know, you're down there, and but you kind of down a tube station, and then a train comes in, and you got a little repertoire, but you know the people are passing, so you just do your you've got time to do maybe 2 or 3 tunes, your best tunes, because you know they're going to give you money for those, and that's it. So it's kind of.
So did you gravitate to? You think you were a singer or guitar player? Was it guitar? You had to do guitar. You couldn't just sing a cappella, could you? Or anything?
I played acoustic guitar then.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I learned to pick a little bit. So
yeah.
Then, and I kind of never stopped actually doing that. So I mean, I'm not a great picker. I can't play the bass and pick at the same time, but. I like it like that because you scat pick, and it's a bit more interesting doing the same little pick over again. You know?
But what we want to know is this before Rod Stewart taught you how to play a mouth organ?
Yeah, it's at the same time really.
So was he busking as well?
Well, you know, so I was busking, and you know, my big heroes were Woody.
That's a big bombshell, by the way. You're supposed to go, wow, wow, Rod Stewart taught Charlie Harper how to play a mouth organ.
These people have been reading the papers and the magazines, and in the magazines it has, I told Rod Stewart.
Oh, no! Well,
this is bollocks, yeah, he told me. But I did play a harmonica on a rack first off. You know, like Bob Dylan was a big star in the days, and I loved Woody Guthrie, played a lot of Woody Guthrie stuff. And so, yeah, great. But he taught me to. It's a completely different way of playing when you're playing blues. He taught me to play blues. You suck and you don't blow.
There's a lesson there for everyone, isn't there? Well, I'll tell you what we want to do. Does anyone want to hear a couple of songs? And what we're going to do tonight, we'll play a couple of songs, might have a break, a bit of a chat. And then we'll play a few more songs, and everyone can ask some questions and stuff like that too. Is everyone happy with that? Yeah. Right, so let's give Charlie the stage, and I'll get off and drink some more beer and hear some songs. Give a round of applause. Come on, let's get it going.
Right, let's spot the tune. So sweet, you got me down on my knees. You got a stranglehold on me. Puts your arms around me like a vice. Oh, so painful, but it's nice. I can only take it once or twice. You got a stranglehold on me. 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 Stranglehold. Puts your arms around me like a vice. Oh, so painful, but it's nice. I can only take it once or twice. She got a stranglehold on me. 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 Stranglehold. Your turn, come on. Stranglehold on me. Stranglehold on me. Got a stranglehold on me. Stranglehold. Very good. I've got a set list here, but I've never stuck to it. Never stuck to it. So give me a moment to get my pick out. Okay?
Was that the first UK sub song that you heard, Stranglehold?
No. Yes.
No. What was the first UK sub song you ever heard?
Live in a car.
Oh yeah.
He said CID.
Did you?
CID was our first release.
Yeah. Did you actually ever live in a car?
Oh yeah, still do. It's out there. Yeah, enough room for a bed in the back. Yeah. This is a bit daunting because I can't really play solo guitar, but I'll try my best. Yeah, I live in a car. Yeah, I live in a car. I ain't got no TV set, no TV set. I live in a car. try to call me on the telephone. I won't be home, I'll live in a car. Cops trying to get me, but I don't care. I'm never there. I'll live in a car. One more. Be aware of requests. Your turn, John.
So you actually, just talk about living in a car, because I know it's mental now, because you wouldn't better get away with living in a car now, would you? I mean, but you could in
No. Things are going so bad in America, people are losing their homes and everything and having to live in their car. And mainly, this is like on the West Coast, where people are meant to be fucking rich. Yeah, lots of people, more and more people are living in their car now than ever. I mean, in America, like everyone like has a car. You know, like your dad buys it for you. You know, a $200 car for your birthday or whatever. You know, like that. They really do cost that less. You know, and one time we were kind of. We were on the road and we were going to the town where we were playing, and we checked into the motel, and we were really hungry. We like, we're going for a meal, and it was a Chinese kind of across a freeway or whatever. Yeah, whatever it was, road, big road. So we were walking along the free, you know, like where, you know, no one walks in America, you know, like that. So, you know, and the car passer says, and they go, get a fucking car! You know, white people walking is a disgrace. You know, only black people and Indians are meant to be walking, you know, fucked up.
Is this your story about, have you come across the crossroads where you had to sell your soul to the devil? Is this why you survived so long?
I've done that. You've got to do that. You've got to do that. No, you've got to do that. You've got to do that. You've got to say, are you dedicated to this kind of life, or are you going to just like give up, you know? And you do. You have to sell your soul.
So it's almost like you say, born a rocker, die a rocker. Wasn't practically, you could see what you did there.
You know, some bands have kind of asked me that, you know, we're going around the same old circuit and say, you know, like, what can we do, you know, like that. And I have told a couple of bands, like, you have to sell your soul to the devil. And if they don't understand that, then they're lost. You know, you've got to understand what that means.
Well, sacrifice, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Human sacrifice.
Oh, you went for the... You went for the...
It's only your soul. It's only your soul.
Anyway, so what's the next song you... Let's let Charlie pick the next song. You know what I mean? Because if we start shouting songs out, he's going to fuck's sake. You know what I mean? What song would you like to play next?
Well, someone said, like, CID, and I think...
It's on the list.
And this is a criminal investigation department, yeah?
Yeah, it's funny, ironic, but through our police songs, we get quite a lot of police at our gigs. When we play the Hunter Club, or we used to, they're too old now, but we used to get the murder squad in. Yeah, and they just go, Charlie, you've got to do one for the murder squad, you know, like, yeah, this one's for the murder squad, and I'm like, what? anyway, I think they must be 80 now. They're not coming to gigs anymore. Yeah, they were mostly retired back then in '79 or whatever. Right, CID. Well, you know the words. You got to shout out. C-I-D. Right, how's it go? Yeah.
Dressed in black, passing by and don't look back, keeping a line and walk straight ahead, make one false move. Could be a dad, it's an undercover. To the CID. He's got a loaded 44, walking out the store. Secretive, hear what I say. Take them trip down Soho way. Cause if you do, you better keep in line. Make one false move and you could be doing. Here's an underground undercover in the far CID. Got a loaded 44, walking out the store. Take no chip down Soho way. If you do, you better keep in a line. Make one false move. You could be two in time. He's an undercover agent for the CID. He's got a loaded 44, walking out the store.
Cheers.
But one thing I was going to say is, everyone knows you as Charlie Harper, but are we allowed to? I know for tax reasons you can't do this. We'll leave it out. Does everyone know your birth given name?
Yeah.
Well, do you know it?
Many people do.
Yeah. David Charles Perez. Is that right?
Yeah.
And Perez is quite an exotic name, is it? Was it?
No, it's Smith in Spanish.
Oh, was it?
My mother's family are Garcias, and that's Jones in Spanish. And Perez is like Smith. It's so common. There's a Perez in almost every football team in England.
But so the heritage comes back from far. I mean, you're a London born and bred, aren't you? East End.
It's funny. The first band were talking about Colorado, Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
And that's where my blood my blood father comes from.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So and they said it's got no history. But forget the Americans, there's a Pueblo Indians, and you know, and they were there thousands of years before. So
it was him singing the song.
Colorado's not boring. First of all, you go to Colorado and you come in from like the east and going west, and I remember like going in the van and going, oh, I can see Colorado, and the people in the van going, what, they're clouds? And I go, no, they're the mountains, that's where we're going. And it is like the mile-high city, it's up in the clouds, it's like so high up there. And yeah, they were saying, no, they're clouds. And no, that's mountains. that's Colorado. And
Yes, look,
so to me, Colorado is beautiful, and we've had some wild times up there, I'll tell you. Maybe it's something to do with the air.
And now Charlie's going to do John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. Now, what's the next song, mate?
Oh, right. Well, it's kind of a serious song. Funny, the story about this song is like, I do this verse, that there's the last verse if I get to it, because not only did I leave my set list at home, I left the words at home, so I'm trying my best. But, you know, as a writer, sometimes some words just come into your head, and these words come into my head, and they're, are you putting a gun in my hand? Are you starting another war? Exiled and condemned to write a rebellion song. And then from then on I thought, wow, that's... And I didn't write it down, it just come in my head. And then for that I had to write a song. And then I decided to write the song. People, you know, ask you about your kind of life and where you come from and stuff. And I thought I'd write my autobiography in the song, but you know, these things don't happen. You know, you go off the path. But it is it's a rebellion song, and that's about it. So hope you like it.
Victors write the history. We write rebellion song. There's a line in the desert sand. It's put there by an enemy's hand. How long will it stand while we sing rebellion song? Are you putting a gun to my head? Are you starting another war? Exile and condemned to sing rebellion song. We believe in creative rebellion while you create destruction. When the trust is gone, we sing rebellion song. This one's for Hong Kong. Where the enemy at the gate is put there by the state, we should never break while we sing rebellion song.
Well, do you ever consider yourself a protest singer?
No, I don't. But I do kind of listen to protest songs.
Yeah.
You know, starts all by Woody Guthrie, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, no one would consider the UK Subs a political band, but you make political stands at certain points, don't you? Always.
Funny, I'm very sorry. I can't play this yet. I have played it, but I haven't like practiced it for a long time. But there is a song I do, and it's on. Thank you for buying the album. Whoever bought it, I know a few people bought it. But there's a track on there called Old Man Trump, and it's about Trump's dad and how he kind of Woody Guthrie had this apartment in New York, and it was owned by Old Man Trump, and it's Brownie McGee, who's black, used to go up there and play with harmonica with Woody Guthrie. And, you know, he was spotted and, excuse me, Woody Guthrie was thrown out of, yeah, he wrote this song about Old Man Trump being a fascist and stuff, you know. And, yeah, it's on the record, and it's like, yeah, a good, one of Woody Guthrie's protest songs.
Oh, sorry, the contract. That's your solo album over there, isn't it?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I think there's CDs and wonderful coloured vinyl.
No, he has not told me to say that. I just said it.
Hey! If you buy them, they're an investment, because our stuff goes on the fucking internet for 40. I'm not talking about £400 for singles and shit like that, so there'd always be an investment. A bit like my paintings, so investment.
I'll tell you what,
Anyone's painting.
Who remembers the UK sub-singles? Who remembers the only singles you could never get on black vinyl?
That's right.
I think they're more sought after now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the trick was, we didn't know this when we were very naive, and our first guy on the first record said, would you like to release your first single, CID, on colour vinyl? And we all said, yes, please, brilliant. So someone said green, someone said yellow, someone said, yeah, so they released initially on 4 colours. And a few people wanted to get all 4 colours, but most people just wanted a black one to play on their record player, and a colour one to like keepsake. And it shot us straight into the #1 spot of the indie chart. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And we never went back. And by the way, it was John Peel. I've got to mention this because yeah, they great John Peel. He was playing our tracks off the Roxy album almost daily, and someone said like you should like call him. So me and Pete decided we'd call him, and Pete dialed at the BBC and asked for John Peel, and then he bottled out. John Peel's actually come to the phone. Charlie, take this. Well, can you imagine? You know, like he was all our heroes then, #1 DJ for fucking centuries. And so anyway, I spoke to John Peel. He was really into it. We had a conversation, and he said like, you've got to come down. He said, wait a minute, meet us at this pub behind the BBC in Upper Regent Street. And so we did meet, and you know, he wanted to manage us, he wanted to pay for our recordings and everything. So Nicky was with me. I think the whole band was probably there, but Nicky's really independent and decided, you know, like not to. So, but the thing is, he did recommend this studio in Cambridge called Spacewood, and we went up there immediately and recorded CID and those 2 other tracks, and the rest is history, and it's all down to John Peel.
Well,
yeah. Let's have a drink to John Peel.
So, what song do you want to do next? You going to do one off your solo album or something?
Well, the next CID and I Live in the Car. as we're talking about UK sub-singles, this is one of the all-time favourites, which you could sing along. Who said that? I'm doing a different one now. I got a little girl, she only lives down the street. She's got a little something gonna knock you off your feet. Well, I said I wanna buy some, try some. She told me that I could. Said first you better try some, cause it won't do you good. But I feel a lot better than I did before. Whole lot better when you're out on the floor. Feels so good, I don't know when. Look out, girl, here it comes again. Yeah, tomorrow's girl, she ain't pre-programmed. Won't talk about liberation, cause she might understand. And they're out there drinking ice cold beer. Tomorrow's girl, she's gonna put some in your ear, and you feel a lot better than you did before. Whole lot better when you're out on the floor. Feels so good, I know when. Look out, girl, here it comes again. That's tomorrow's girl. She ain't no factory girl, and she don't wanna live in no 9-to-5 world. So when you're out there slaving on your factory floor, tomorrow's girl, she wants a lot more, and you feel a lot better than you did before. Whole lot better when you're out on the floor. Feels so good, I know when. Look out, girl, here it comes again. Thank you.
I mean, one thing I've always wanted to ask you, you know, with all the success you've had in music and all the stuff you've done and all the elation you've had of that, have you ever worried that no one's ever taken your hairdressing seriously?
No, I was a serious hairdresser. I'll tell you how serious I was. I'm a little shop in South London, and there was this woman called Prudence Glynn. Girls, anyone heard of Prudence Glynn? You're all too young, maybe. So, no, yeah, you are. Anyway, she was a fashion editor of the Times, and she normally went to Leonard in Park Lane to have her hair done, but she wouldn't let anybody cuss it but me. So yeah, I was serious. So it was good.
For who doesn't know, Charlie was a hairdresser as well. Did everyone know that? No. No, you didn't know that? Oh, right, Charlie was a hairdresser.
Well, it happened when I was busking, and I kind of got married, or had a girlfriend, and she had a sister who had a shop, and she needed staff, and so I said, well, I did do an apprenticeship before that, actually, when I left school at 15 and done that, you know. So, and she offered me £20 a week, which was great money. You know, I was at hairdressing school, and the teachers there, you know, and they told us, yeah, we earn £5 a week. I mean, wow! Because we earn like £1.50 a week as an apprentice, you know, like, so £5 was a colossal amount of money in them days. You wouldn't believe it, you know. Like I told you before, you know, 40p to see the Rolling Stones, you know, so, you know, like, money was like shit in them days.
Yeah, it's all artistic, isn't it? I mean.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and I got a job there, and then a friend of hers opened another shop for me with my name above it, David Perez, the great. And I managed that, and then I got talking to someone, and I had a little room in the back of a boat's boutique, and then my own thing, and then we done the records and went on. Well, we didn't go on the road. We were offered to go on the road, and there's a Farewell to the Roxy tour, and I just gave the shot to my assistant, no cost. Just you take it. I'm off.
Well,
and that was it.
You were still hairdressing in the 70s, right? Up till the subs and that, or?
Yeah, it must have been 70 until the Roxy, Farewell to the Roxy, 77 or 76.
I thought it was just a 60s thing. Was your shop called Daisies or something?
David Perez.
Yeah. You go on Wikipedia, it says your fucking shop's
Yeah, it
called
wasn't
Daisies.
I didn't own the shop. I didn't own the shop. But,
No, it's just your name. Because it sounds so, exotic, basically.
well, they thought it was. I didn't think so. But my grandkid, who's named Marley after Bob, he calls himself Marley Perez, and he's had some write-ups and kind of stuff, and great little musician, and and he's put Marley Perez on his sweaters and stuff. So I wouldn't call it exotic, because if you know Spain, it's like Smith in Spanish. You know.
So do your kids take, which name do your kids take then? Do they take the Perez or
Me
not?
grandkid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, grandkid.
Right, we need some more songs. What do you think? Come on.
Right. Well, the next one next one. Got to do, because normally, I mean, John's really helping me out. I've got to give him a hand, because he's doing a great job. But when I normally do a concert, like a straight concert, I kind of do about 3 strumming songs with a pick, and my arm's falling off. So I have to do a little picking. So this is the next picking song to give me a rest. Another thing that's happened is, a couple of weeks ago, whenever I do a solo, my wife insists that I wash my hair so my hair don't stink. She's close to me, she knows. So, but when you wash your hair, it softens your fingers, and like you're playing, it really hurts. So anyway, this is a short little song, picking song, and it's called Cocaine Blues, and it's a very don't go near it, because we had this little discussion, didn't we? About how worse cocaine, and I know that because one of my kids was hooked on it, and it absolutely ruined him. He lost his house and everything. So beware, guys.
Don't do it.
Sorry, what was that?
Cocaine Blue.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when it first happens, but then you get hooked on it. But my experience in cocaine, I was out in Spain, and I was with this really beautiful, rich lady, and she took me everywhere, all these clubs, and every place we went to, we done a line of cocaine, and I thought, I'm away here, I'm good. And but at the end of the night, she just put me in a cab to my hotel, and that was it. And I thought, well, that's fucking useless. So I never touched it again.
Wow.
I stayed away from that stuff, and everyone who had anything to do with it. Yeah. here we are, Cocaine Blues.
Hey baby, all dressed in white. Hey baby, what you doing tonight? I want cocaine all around my brain. Hey baby, all dressed in blue. A little baby, what you gonna do? Want cocaine all around my brain. Hey baby, won't you come here quick? This old cocaine's making me sick. I want cocaine all around my brain. Hey baby, all dressed in red. Little baby, get out of that bed. I want cocaine all around my parade. Hey baby, all dressed in white. Little baby, what you doing tonight? I want cocaine all around my brain. Cocaine's for horses, it ain't for men. Doctor said they kill me, but he don't say when. I want cocaine all around my brain.
And that song was written by the Reverend Gary Davis. Well, an American blues singer, but in them days, you could just buy that title.
So who's your, I mean, were you a Bob Dylan fan in the situation?
I think, yeah, I mean, I used to do this Bob Dylan song called That's All Right Ma, which goes on for about 20 minutes. It's got about 20 verses. Anyone heard of that one?
Yeah.
That's all right Ma, I'm only dreaming. But yeah, I kind of, you know, at my age, you're kind of worried about your kind of mental health, you know, and I started kind of playing that, but years ago, to try and, you know, keep my brain going, and yeah, because 20 verses, you've got to have a good memory to remember. But every time I hear it on the radio or in a club or somewhere, I can sing along with it, remember the words, but doing it in front of people is 20 verses. Well, I'll do this other song, which, you know, you can, another one you can sing along with. Hope you do, chorus. You'll recognise it, right? Streets of London. I don't do the line, she carries her own knickers. Right. If I go astray, this song's got so many fucking chords in it.
Have you seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking up the papers with his worn-out shoes? In his eyes you see no pride, hands out loosely by his side. It's yesterday's papers, yesterday's news. So how can you tell me you're lonely? Say for you that's a long shot. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. Show you something you'll understand. Have you seen the old girl who walks the streets of London, dirty in her hair and her clothes talking, she just keeps right on walking, carrying her home in 2 plastic bags. So how can you tell me you're lonely? See for you that's sunshine. Let me take you by the hand, lead you through the streets of London, show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old man outside the seaman's mission? Memory fading like the metal ribbons that he wears. In Winter City, the raindrops of little pity, another forgotten hero, and a world that doesn't care. So how can you tell me you're lonely? See for you that don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London, show you something to make you change your mind. In the all-night cafe, about 11:15, same old man sitting there on his own, looking at the world over the rim of his teacup, and each tea lasts an hour, and he wanders home alone. So how can you tell me you're lonely? Say for you that don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London, show you something to make you change your mind. Almost. It wouldn't be right if I done it perfect, would it?
All right. Who's next then?
What were the best punk bands that came out of the original scene when you first went to see the punk bands at the Roxy and that shit?
Like the Crash.
What was it? Yeah. Well, we know.
Crash band.
They weren't quite around
Like
then.
the Crash.
The first ones.
First one.
What's about that then?
Well, I used to. I mean,
Crash, yeah.
once I discovered the Roxy, which, funny enough, was a club called Shagaramas, and it was a lesbian club. Did anyone know that? Yeah, before the Roxy, it was a lesbian club called Shagaramas. Well,
Did you go? Whoa. Did you actually go to Shagaramas?
Oh yes.
Oh right.
Oh yes. They let me in no trouble.
And what was it like being a lesbian?
I still am.
He loves women.
Anyway, on a Friday night, in Shagaramas on a Friday night, they weren't too fussy about who they let, as long as you didn't look like a meathead or anything, you know, they let you in. And we being like, you know, Bowie was the thing at the time, and everyone had kind of coloured hair and wore kind of outrageous clothes, you know, very colourful people in them days. So, you know, 2 of us guys and 2 girls go down there like no problem. And, you know, like I said, there was no punk rock that kind of started, but there was no punk rock records. So they played a lot of kind of real good dub reggae, and they played Iggy Pop, a lot of Velvet Underground, as well as Neil Dolls. They played Hollywood Brats and all those edgy bands like that. So you know, and yeah, we loved it. And then excuse me, we hadn't been there for a month or 2, and we said, come on, let's go down Shagaramas again, and went down there, and outside there was all these like leather jacket punk rockers, and we kind of went to go in there, and it was called the Roxy. And so, okay, we'll go down, because been in London, you know, them days, every bar closed at 11 o'clock, every pub. So you're looking for bars open till 3 in the morning. And Roxy was one of those bars, Chaparama's was, you know. So it was like a watering hole, and you go down there, and they had bands on every day of the week, except for maybe Sunday and Mondays, I think they were closed. And so we thought, well, this is fucking heaven, you know. So, and started seeing all these bands. And I remember, I think one of my first favourite bands was the Vibrators, who, you know, they wrote great songs. And then let's go down, and I was in a band called Marauders, I think, at the time, and I tried to get them. I was already 30 years old, and my band were all teenagers, and you know, they were at college, they had no money, and I said, "Look, you've got to come to this club." So 1 week we done about three gigs that weekend, and so I had a little bit of money, and that week, like, we all went down to the Roxy together, and the Damned were playing, and they kind of said, "Fuck this, Charlie, we want to do this punk rock thing." So I said, "Okay, well, I'm a bit old for that, and you know, I'm an old blues man." Yeah, I'm an old, 40 years ago. And, I'm an old blues man, and you guys go. And they formed another band and left me high and dry, and yeah, so, but then, yeah, left me high and dry, and my flatmate just happened to be at a party, met Nicky Garrett, who came down from Leicester, wanted to join a punk rock band. And he said, "Oh, you know, my flatmate's punk rock singer, you should get together with him." So I came home one night, and Nicky Garrett was sitting there, and we were piss poor. We had no furniture. We had one bean bag. Yeah, we had no furniture at all. You know. So anyway, yeah, and we decided, and Steve Slack, who was Paul Slack's younger brother, who was the original bass player, he was fucking 17 years old and mentally good. He was fucking brilliant. Yeah, so we formed Subs, and that was it. And the other band played on the Vortex album, and they kind of gave up after kind of nothing much happened, but because the Subs always like gigging live, we don't care if we get paid or not, we do it gig, yeah, we want a gig. And so we went through. Yeah, if any like musicians think there's money in it, like the Stranglers say, the money's no good, but if you love playing, you'll make it. You know, you put your music first, money is second. You put your money first, you're lost. Actually, beer first.
Where the girls go to it?
Pretty high up. Yeah.
On that note, have another song. You get married. Who wants another song?
Right. This one needs no introduction. I hope I can play it. God. Does anyone know the words?
How are you going?
Getting ready. That's it. If them armies are loading their guns, they're getting ready. But the Russian tanks are mowing them down. They're getting ready.
soon it's gonna burn your temples down. Heads of state, having their fun. Are they ready? We're looking at the world through a barrel of a gun. Are you ready? And you sit there beating on your little war drum. Are you ready? It won't be long before your time's come. Are you ready for the burning sun? Sets in the Western world. It rises in the east. Pretty soon it's gonna burn your temples down. Started as a whisper, warhead, warhead, warhead. It's getting louder and louder, warhead, 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 warhead. You guys keep it up. Yankees and the Russians, warhead, again marching, warhead, again loaded, warhead, just up the border where the tanks are rolling. There's a nation in fear, one nation crying, one nation killing, another nation dying. So about guns, escalation, fire by a planet, let alone a nation warhead. One more. This is the B-side, in fact. I'm waiting for my man. Got $26 in my hand. I'm going to Lexington 125. Just sitting dirty, more dead and alive, yeah. I'm waiting for my man. Yeah, here he comes, all dressed in black. Got peeled off shoes and a big straw hat. But up into my room, I've got no time to waste. Well, let's go. Yeah, I'm going to Lexington, 3 flights a step. Everybody's eyes meet you, but nobody cares. But then tomorrow, I've got no time to waste. Yeah, I'm waiting for my man. Oh, baby, don't you holler. Baby, don't you bother and shout now. I'm feeling so good, I'm gonna let it all hang out. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Then tomorrow, then that's some other time. Well, I'm waiting for my man.
Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
Just keep to a couple of Q&As if anyone's got any questions. Anyone got any questions I would ask?
Yeah, go on.
Wait, oh, you don't really need the mic, but it's good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many gigs have you done?
655,929.
Pretty impressive. Anyone else? Anyone's got a question?
Give one or two.
Yeah.
So, like picking your favourite child, what is your favourite song that you've written?
Well, no, I think the band excuse for not doing this is because they don't know what key it's in. They said, well, it's not in any key we know, and I think that's a lame excuse because you're just doing the closest thing. But anyway, it's called Another Typical City, involved in another typical daydream, and it was a single. And the story about why another reason it's my favourite song is because it was on a 12-inch single released by Jungle Records, and it bombed here, like, you know, kind of mid-80s when punk was kind of bombing, you know. And then it was picked up by a DJ in LA called Romy Bingham-Heimer. Yeah, that's the one. I can't pronounce his name myself, but that's the one. And he was the John Peel of America. Yeah, he was. And he started playing it on his radio, and it got so popular in LA that these guys came over and got us. And the next thing we knew, and that's right, the band had just split up with the old band with Nicky and Alvin and the guys, and that was after, it's a Polish guy here, after the big Polish tour, stadium tour, and the guy said, we want to do stadiums now, and we want to be like the Flock of Seagulls and Duran Duran and all those, you know. And I'm like, well, fucking hell, you know, like, you've got to have hit records to do that, you know. Anyway, so we parted company, and so I got a kind of scratch band together. I got Steve Slack from the very beginning, Pete Davies from the very beginning, and then this guy called Captain Scarlet, who was he was about 15 years old, and he was watching Nicky Garrett like a hawk and knew all the songs. So the band had split up. I'm kind of lying in bed in the morning thinking, you know, what's going to happen, you know, fucking hell, no UK subs anymore. So 5 minutes later the phone rings, and then this woman called me and said, look, Charlie, I need you to do this charity gig for children with cancer. And like, you know, how can you kind of refuse? I said, well, look, the band's just split up, but I'll get a band together and we'll do it. We'd done this gig, and also like Broken Bones, they split away from Discharge, and they done it as well, and a couple of other bands. And this gig was absolutely, it was the Greyhound in Fulham Palace Road in a big music pub that holds about 300 people, and it was absolutely jammed. And we done this gig, and Jungle Records signed us up. They signed up, not Discharge, Broken Bones as well, and that was our first single. And then this American thing happened. Ronnie Bingham-Heimer was playing our song in LA. These guys got us over in LA, and suddenly we were playing. The new UK subs were playing 6,000 seater stadiums, and poor Nicky and that, well, they couldn't even get gig in CBGB's. And yeah, so this is how the cookie crumbles, isn't it? You know?
I've got the fucking 12-inch of that. Did you do a 12-inch of that? Another typical city in another...
Yeah.
I've got a 12-inch of that.
Yeah, so yeah, if anyone hears it,
I'll take offers.
one of my best lyrical renderings and words, and the music's really good. And it was kind of a bit before it, you know, it was kind of almost like this kind of disco punky thing, you know, like Captain Scarlet and I were like really into Susie and Banshees, and John McGill, the guitarist. So then everything was like really like colossal reverb and stuff, you know.
Yeah, mind you, when we see the videos there, would you say you went through a goth period? Because you did wear a lot of eyeliner and paint your nails.
We played in Brighton, and Captain Scarlet came down, and he had this amazing glittery turquoise nail varnish. And I kind of missed doing that, like, you know. But it's his brother's 9-year-old daughter painting his nails. They look amazing. But yeah, we kind of miss that. It's funny, yeah, because we'd be in the States and UK subs, you know, this fucking ointment band come along, and there'd be this kind of band putting their makeup on, and like we go, hey, can we use a bit of your eyeliner?
Any more questions?
Yeah, what's it like being on top of the pops? Hang on.
I'll tell you what, the first thing I'll say is the beer's cheap. Yeah, I mean, it's about £2.50 for a pint in them days, maybe. So it was about £1 a pint or something like that in BC bar. So we kind of grew to love it. You know?
Did you actually get banned from Top of the Pops?
Twice. Yeah, the first time was, I can't remember the song, but we had a stage invasion.
Yeah.
Which, again, you can't do that Top of the Pops, you know. We were on there with... shit. Who?
Move over that one.
I can't remember that one, but Cockney Rejects. Okay, this is a good story, right? And the air was like a bit electric because Adam Ant was there at the same time. Okay, so they kind of clashed, and there was a big kind of fight in the corridors, so everyone running down the corridors, people getting beaten up and stuff. And just at that very evening, Maggie Thatcher, I think just before or just as she became Prime Minister, was being shown around the BBC, and this fucking fracas was happening. Yeah. And I think it was like Cockney Rejects which kind of mounted this stage invasion and stuff. Yeah, all good fun, but we got banned. And then like 2 years later, I think, or maybe just 1 year later, we were on there with Party in Paris with Captain Sensible on keyboards. Yeah. And he trashed his keyboards, and I'm like, look at what's happening. And then Steve Roberts, who was our drummer at the time, joined. He got his snare drum and threw it behind his back, through the backdrop, and we were banned forever. Yeah.
What's your question, mate? Trying to get out of there.
It's an short. I like your rabbit chain.
Yeah.
He likes your rabbit chain.
It's not actually a rabbit, it's just an ordinary hardware lock. I'll tell you something about the rabbit chains, because I used to, you know, I've got the key in my pocket, and when I go home not to damage my missus at night time, I have to take it off. But the rabbit chains, I used to wear them all the time, and within 2 or 3 weeks, I'll have to get another one because it just rusts up. But this one's a really hard-wearing, good old locksmith one that lasts for a year or two. Yeah. But
you nicked it off. You nicked the idea off Sid Vicious, yeah?
Yeah, I think everyone did. Everyone did. Sid was a fucking model, wasn't he? Model punk. Yeah.
But not.
I mean, he looked great. You can deny Sid Vicious looked great.
Yeah, and we miss him because I mean he was a kid. Everyone forgets Steve.
You had to avoid him though.
Yeah.
You really had to avoid him because he was like, he was like best mates with Captain Sensible, and Captain told me that Malcolm McLaren, used to pay extra money to start fights and pick on people. And,
What, for Sid to start fights? Sid, he used to pay, pay him to...
You said, hello Sid, and you get a punch in the mouth, But it was as bad as that. So we used to go down this club called the Speakeasy in kind of Oxford Circus. Yeah, Oxford Circus. And it'd be down there, and he'd just be standing by the wall, by the doorway, so everyone could walk past him, but people just ignored him.